Actually joining us here, Dr. العمر, Director General of Laboratories and Blood Banks, Ministry of Health in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the program, Dr. Ibrahim.
Thank you very much. First of all, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. I would like to thank you, my brother Zainuddin, and my brother Saud, for giving me this opportunity to share in these programs and to be the man of the week. And also I would like to share with you the dua for our brothers and sisters in Gaza, that inshallah God help them and they get rid of what they are suffering from.
Inshallah. This was Dr. Ibrahim Al-Umar. To know him more, we have this few introduction, or this little presentation we have about Dr. Ibrahim Al-Umar, to know him more for all of you viewers.
Dr. Ibrahim Al-Umar, Director General of Laboratories and Blood Banks, Ministry of Health, Saudi Arabia. Education, Bachelor Degree, Clinical Laboratory Science, King Saud University 1996. Master Degree, Clinical Laboratory Science, King Saud University 2000. PhD Degree, Nottingham University, UK 2007. Professional experience, 2004 till present, Director General of Laboratories and Blood Banks, Ministry of Health, Saudi Arabia. 2002 to 2004, Director of Blood Bank Directorate, MOH, KSA. 1997 to 2002, Laboratory Specialist in General Directorate of Laboratories and Blood Banks, MOH, KSA. 1996 until 1997, Internship Training in Pathology Department in the Military Hospital, Riyadh, KSA. Rewards, Honors and Appreciation Letters. Pilgrimage Decoration 1425 Hijrah from Prince Naif bin Abdulaziz, Minister of Interior, for excellent performance during Hajj season 1424 Hijrah. Appreciation letter from the Executive Deputy Minister for accomplishment of the mission of transportation of blood samples for Rift Valley fever. Appreciation letter from the Minister of Health plan during Hajj season 1423 Hijrah. Appreciation letter from General Director of the Civil Defense General Directorate in Riyadh. From Minister of Health Dr. Hamad Al-Mana in Hajj season 1426 Hijrah. Professional Society. Member of American Association of Clinical Chemistry, AACC, San Francisco 2000. Member of the International Society of Blood Transfusion. Welcome back, dear viewers. Actually, that was a rich presentation and report about Dr. Ibrahim Al-Umar. I would like again to welcome Dr. Ibrahim. Actually, Dr. Ibrahim, it was a very rich report about the accomplishments you have achieved in your life. First of all, Dr. Ibrahim, I would like to ask you about the importance of blood banks.
Actually, the importance of the blood banks, it's essential as a life drug, we can call it. It's actually the blood or blood component. It's life for the injuries and the patient when they need it, for who are suffering from special diseases or general diseases, or even for the before the surgery to be operated to the patient. So from this point, the importance of blood is arise. So we can consider it as live drug, and even the blood or whole blood or its blood component.
Doctor, what types of tests are performed on the donated blood?
There's a lot of tests actually that undergo to the unit before it's actually giving to the patient or to the injured person. These tests are actually for the infectious disease, to make sure that it's that the unit
Viral
is free, yes, viral and bacteria, and even we make sure that this unit is free of these infectious diseases, not to be transmitted to the recipient of this unit. So it's actually numbers of tests that we are restricted to apply to the unit, to make sure that it's free of most of the diseases that can be transmitted to the recipient.
So doctor, in few words, if you found any infected blood sample, you will throw it directly?
Yes, of course, and there is a procedures that even not we just only throw the blood. Actually, we make investigation for the donor himself to make sure that he get the right treatment. Either he
so
has
you call
this,
back the donor?
Yes, we can call back the donors. So when he, we discover any disease or actually infectious disease, especially, they have their own pathway or channels to make sure we get back to the donors and we deal with him as a patient now.
Okay, Dr. Ibrahim, concerning the blood donation, is it healthy for a person to donate blood, and if so, how many times a year?
Yeah, actually a lot of researches that shows that there's actually it's very benefit to the donors. We know that the survival life for the RBCs is 90 days, so it will be destroyed and go away. So it's easy, it's good to donate this blood. Other things that the level of the iron is high, and it can be controlled by the donation of the blood. The important thing is that the donation is the activation of the bone marrow, is the factory for the cells of the body, either red blood cells or white blood cells. And actually most of these researches now, there's update research that shows that regular donations can minimize the risk of having a cardiac attack with percentage of 35%. And this is well-published papers. So in general, we can consider the donation as benefit for the, not only for the recipient, but also for the donor himself.
How often should a healthy person?
Actually, we regularly, to not affect your conditions, general status is to not more than 5 times in a year. So you can each
every 2.5
2.5 months you can donate,
okay,
but not more than
who
5
can
times.
donate, and who are the qualified donors?
Actually, both they can donate, but there's actually conditions for the donor himself to make sure that he's healthy first of all, and he doesn't have any problems or health problems like chronic diseases or other diseases. To make sure that even his age actually is more than 18 years and not less than 65. And in general, it's actually undergo the condition of the donor himself. Both male and female, they can donate, and of course the qualified donors, who actually the donors can actually pass all the requirements needed for the donation questionnaire. So in general, everybody can donate. The age is limited, as I mentioned, 18 to 65, and he should be not suffering from any problem or health problems.
Okay, Dr. Ibrahim, some people inquire about the term donor deferral. So if you could tell us a little bit about this term.
Okay, donor deferral means the same thing, that we are any donors who not fulfill requirement of the donations, like he has any problems, or even they have actually any positive test for his blood, we can call deferral donors. Or any, actually in general, it's the donor who not fulfill the requirement of the donations questionnaire. So it means like the general condition of the health.
History of jaundice,
yes, like say, it's list of diseases. Either if he has been operated the last 6 months of the donations, has any chronic diseases like diabetic or hypertension or whatever. So we can call this deferral donors. Actually, the donor who's not accepted to donate to not have the complication either to himself or to the donor.
So you always keep them aside?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there any difference between males and females in terms of donation?
No, there is no difference, except that they, of course, there is certain conditions for the females that they don't have the same pregnancy, or say that they have the time of donation, they are not in the menopause.
What about the height and weight, doctor?
Actually, this is actually it's supposed to be not more than a certain weight. So in general,
not less than a certain weight.
Yeah, and not less than, and more than, and not less than. The reason behind that is actually it's reflect positively to the condition of the donors. So anything we can control the donation procedures is not harming the donors and the recipient at the same time. So in this actually procedures, if it's not affecting the donors and the recipient, we can accept them as donors.
Beautiful, doctor. Let's see the first report you have about your colleagues.
Yes.
And what did they say?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Dr. Mohammed Osman Zaid. I'm a consultant in blood transfusion medicine and general directorate of laboratories and blood bank. Now I'm going to give some hints about my director, Dr. Ibrahim Abdulaziz Al-Umar. He's the general director of laboratories and blood bank. He's a dear friend and he's a very eminent director. We know each other since about 10 years. He have the capacity and the capability of being a general director. He started actually as a director of Directorate of Blood Banks, and he speed up and he got the promotion of the General Director of Laboratories and Blood Bank. I admire actually his procedures through all the Department of Laboratories and Blood Bank both together. He achieved actually a higher qualification of PhD from Nottingham in England. Also, he's seeking another PhD in health management. I can actually say that Dr. Ibrahim is well enthusiastic, and he is actually always seeks successful efforts throughout his career. He's a amenable person and he's trustable, and I trust him, I trust his decisions, so we are always work together in a process of team work, and I believe he's going to achieve more and more successful steps toward the top. Thank you.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and we continue our discussions with Dr. Ibrahim Al-Umar. Dr. Ibrahim, I would like to ask you about the blood types needed in Riyadh, and is it hard to find?
Actually, all the blood type is needed, and of course, it's not in Riyadh only, but over all the world. The rare groups are needed. Actually, more than the regular groups. The main thing is that also we are considering some blood bank friends. We call them blood bank